Welcome everyone to the After Thirds Tea Time. Today we had a bit of a technical issue. Zoom was not cooperating, but we're here now. I am Christine. I will be your host today, and I am joined by Fiona and Carmen. Thank you so much, ladies. So today's topic in the Sunday service was about listening to your body and healing through pain. It is a really cool topic, actually, because a lot of times you expect to hear about just the spiritual aspect of faith and not also the physical, which is the physical body and taking care of it and claiming your health. So that is pretty unique. So I would like to hear from you ladies what you thought of today's topic.
Yeah, I can start. I was really looking forward to this sermon because I think we can, of course, all relate to feeling pain, not only spiritually, but also in the body. And yeah, just listening to today's sermon, it just really, I just really got reminded again that it's really just, yeah, this spiritual and emotional pain you have to feel and you have to face. And I also remember that when I was starting doing some yoga exercises just for stretching myself and feeling active and good in my body, I got reminded that, you know, when there is trauma, and this was also said in the sermon, it is stored usually, especially for women in the hips. And so I had to do a lot of hip opening exercises and really feeling into my hips and the lower part of my body to see what it needs so I can be able to move through it and really move through my feelings here. And I also got to experience a deeper relationship with my body. Like sometimes I feel like, there is something I have to move through, but I can't access it. And then I ask myself, what do I need here? What does my body need to feel? And then I get this image of lay down on your bed, grab your biggest blanket and maybe a stuffed toy. And I usually, in the beginning, I was shutting down this intuition and said like, that's stupid. I can sit on my couch and do the normal mirror exercise, you know, but at some point I really needed this comfort. And my inner child told me, do it, I need it. And then I was following it and I realized it is so easy to quickly move through these emotions, like easily and in an instant. And so, yeah, this is really beautiful and just a reminder of, yeah, that it's all connected basically.
Yeah, and I like how you said, like, once you bring awareness to that space, it's easy to like really feel your feelings and feel your emotions and heal in that space. And I really enjoyed this sermon, especially Abir's story. I thought that was pretty amazing how she went through chronic pain that she has been experiencing for a long time, made the choice or, realized that she could trace it back, to the root cause, thinking back to when she first felt that pain and then healing the emotions around it, healing the trauma around it, and then actually experiencing relief. And not only relief, but being able to, like, I think she said she went on a mountain trek, something that she never thought she would be able to do with the chronic pain she was experiencing. But because she was able to, heal emotionally, it healed her physically. And it's just so powerful how the body speaks to us, right? Because it's easy for us to numb out and ignore our upsets, but our body won't really allow that to happen, right? Our body will speak to us when we choose to ignore certain upsets. Like when we're experiencing pain, it's because we're probably, numbing out to something. And yeah, like the both of you are saying, just kind of bringing awareness to that pain, bringing awareness to that space, and then trusting what your intuition tells you, right? Trusting what God communicates to you when you're present with the pain, and then kind of just going in and loving yourself there, making a new choice. And it's amazing how we can heal our bodies through, healing our mind, healing our emotions.
Yeah, I was really impressed by a beer story as well. And it's really beautiful to see those miracles happen in real time. Because we always hear about miracles happening here and there, but like see it happening in your own life, in another person's life, even nowadays, because a lot of people connect miracles to something that happened back in the day, when they recorded the miracles in the Bible, for example. But no, miracles happen constantly and they're not as unusual as we think about. I remember I was reading A Course in Miracles, and there's this passage about how miracles are natural and a part of life. So it was a beautiful reminder to see how powerful our personal choice is, and we don't have to settle for living in a painful experience, whether that's physical, emotional. We can always make the choice to keep moving forward and healing that. And God will always show us the way when we really choose to heal that.
Yeah, beautiful. I also actually have to share a success story with when it comes down to experiencing pain. So remember, it was already a few years ago. I just basically started my journey and I just did my first round of MAP. And it was about feeling that attack and pain is real, basically. And so I was really faced with that a lot. And so there was this one day when I decided, okay, let's go out in the park. It was a beautiful spring day. And I laid down in the park in the beautiful grass and just put on a meditation where I think it was this yogic sleep meditation or something, where you feel your whole body, all the body parts. It was from Lisi. Yeah, a guided meditation. It was really beautiful. And so I totally relaxed there and really found this deep peace within myself. And I was like, oh my God, I never experienced this deep peace in my body before. Like after the MAP session, again, just reaffirming all these peaceful choices in my body, feeling safe, basically. And I remember I was waking up from that peace. I was just opening my eyes and I instantly felt like a deep, deep pain in my uterus. I think it was PMS, like when this pain before you get your periods, I guess. And I was experiencing this since I have this, since I got my period, and it was always very, very, very extreme and worse. And I don't know, I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. And in this moment, it hit me back and just got reminded that it was always there. And I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe in this moment. I was so shocked by it because it really struck me in my best moment, so to say, right? And so I was trying to fight against it. I was trying to do everything, but I couldn't even. I wanted to scream for help. I was so in pain, but I couldn't. I had no breath left there. And so then I just reminded myself, okay. Back to the basics. So what did I learn here? And I asked God, like, how can you help me here? I really need help. And he said to relax and to breathe into the pain, to really be present there. And I just said, okay, I forced myself to breathe. And I realized when I'm really allowing myself to deeply breathe in this space and to just be calm and do my best that I can, it definitely like loosened up and I could breathe easier. And then I was asking God, okay, and what's next? I mean, I still can't move. I still want to go somewhere where I feel safe. And he's like, you are safe. And do you think I've created you with pain? Do you think I've created you to feel pain in your life? And I said, no, this does not make sense. It's not of God. And as I was bringing this awareness within myself and really relaxing into the truth here that he didn't create me to feel pain, since then I never experienced this deep pain again. Since then it's gone. It was instantly like washed away, and it was so powerful, and just got reminded, yeah, it's really just a thing of your brain, right? What Abir also shared, that this story where this man wasn't really hit by this needle thing, right? It's just that he thought he is in pain. And I also saw an experiment where someone was having a fake hand laying on the table, and this man was he had his hand behind a wall, and then there was a doctor trying to make him feel that this hand, the fake hand that they put there and looked like his hand, is his hand. So they did some sensual tests. So the man really stared at the fake hand and realized at some point it felt like it was his real hand. And in the end, he was also trying with a hammer, going on the fingers all singly and pushing on them. And then the man was really feeling this pain, but the doctor was telling him, it's not your real hand. Your brain is telling you, because you're believing this is your real hand, that you are experiencing this pain, but he doesn't. And after he got hit on the fake hand with the hammer, like a really big hit, he got so shocked. And then like, I felt it. And at the same time, I didn't feel it. And so this was also a strong example for that we can really wire ourselves and train ourselves to, basically not believe in pain. Or sometimes also this pain, as it was just said, needs just attention. It just needs presence. Like if you ever had a good massage, right? You know that it can be very painful when there is some big knot or something, but who doesn't love it just when you be present there and they are pushing onto your pain spots and you just breathe into it. Usually when they're really trained, they breathe into your spot as well. And so you feel it gets like buttery, almost like a muscle. I had a massage training. I'm actually trained massage as well. I don't know if you can say that, a trained masseuse, I guess. And so I got to learn how to really smoothen someone else's muscles and my own, relaxing into them as well. And this is it, right? It's kind of like a good pain without being sadistic, but you know what I mean? It just feels relieving and the blood can flow and everything can flow. And as it was said, it's just stored energy there that has to move. And I think it's just a good thing when you stay present there and allow yourself to really breathe and not hold on to your breath. You will feel that this pain is maybe uncomfortable, but it's not as painful as you were afraid before. Your fear makes it bigger than it actually is. And this is also a huge lesson for me to learn, but I think I've said enough for now.
No, I think you made a lot of really great points, and it's kind of twofold, right? Like when you think about kind of to the point you were making about how the man felt the shock to his hand, even though it wasn't his actual hand, like that happens a lot, right? With people who lose limbs, and I think they call it like phantom pain. If they've lost their leg, for example, they can still feel pain in that leg, even though it's still there. And like you said, it's like the mind. It's actually the mind feeling the pain, right? And communicating to you. And even that's an opportunity to go deeper in healing. And then on the other side, to your point, like the pain is not always a bad thing, right? Like we don't have to fear pain. We can see it as an opportunity to go deeper in love and in our relationship with God. And not all pain is bad. Like, especially when you're working out and you're experiencing like that burning sensation and your muscles are sore after you've worked out for the first time in a long time, like that's a healing pain. That's an empowering sort of pain. That pain is communicating to you that your body is changing, like your muscles are growing, something different is happening here. And that's not a bad thing. And to your point about massages, like I just had a massage this past Friday, and she was like in it, and it did hurt, but afterwards I felt so relaxed and I felt so much relief. And so that pain was almost like it was a doorway into my healing, right? And it's similar to how our upsets work. Like it feels painful in the moment, but as we kind of walk through that doorway and we walk through that doorway with God, we experience relief and love and light on the other side. So yeah.
Yeah, this reminded me of the time when I finished my map healing, and right after the first session, when you heal the trauma, like I had pain all over my body, and it was so weird. I didn't expect that. I thought, okay, it's going to be like normal upheaval, maybe a little bit more intense, but at the end of the day, it was pain that was already there. It wasn't like it was new pain. It had been there, so it needed to be released somehow. And we know that to release a feeling, you need to feel it first. That's why it's so important not to numb out. And yeah, there was a great point, I think it was made in the sermon, about how it's good to sit with your body every once in a while and say, okay, what do I need here? Do I feel anything that is off? Is there any pain anywhere? And if there is, going deeper with it. And also something cool I've noticed is that sometimes when I'm healing something, especially if it's during a session with my coach, I might get a pain in like the throat area, for example, and that's like a thing. And I've heard other people have it too, where they experience some pain that are related to certain upsets they're healing. So yeah, it's really cool to see how connected the body is with the spirit. It's not like you experience an upset just in the spirit. It can also manifest in the body because your body is a part of you. It's not separate from you.
Yeah, I really like what you said about how when you were going through MAP, um, you were shocked to kind of see it, like experience, like, oh man, I'm in a lot of pain. But like you said, it was pain that was already there. And that kind of made me think about how, well, I watch a lot of Grey's Anatomy. Not sure if you two are familiar, but basically it's like a hospital show and all that. And so a lot of times when people come in or they've experienced some sort of like physical trauma, and their adrenaline is like rushing and all that, and they can't feel like the physical pain. Like, let's just say someone got shot, like they may not even feel it because their adrenaline is rushing. And it's not until they're in a safe space and actually able to relax and are surrounded by doctors and people who can help them, it's not until they relax that they actually feel the pain that was there. And that's kind of like for me too, when I was going through MAP, all this stuff just started coming up. But my coaches reminded me, like, this has always been there and it's coming up to be healed. So kind of comparing it to like the adrenaline, when we're numbed out to our upsets and we're numbed out to our trauma, you know, we do that in order, or the body does that to protect us, right? The mind does that to protect us. So we don't have to feel that pain. And it's not until we're in a safe space, like the mind alignment process, surrounded by people who are also healing and can guide us through our healing. It's not until we're in that space that we can like relax. And that's when, you know, we kind of feel like, oh man, I've been in a lot of pain. So that is pretty fascinating to me too. And yeah, like you were saying, Christine, like the body, it's so intelligent. Like when you feel that pain in your throat, it's like it's aligned with the chakras, right? Like it's probably an upset around communication or you know, speaking and sharing and expressing. And I love how the body can communicate with us like that. Like it's so straightforward and simple. Like if you experience pain in your stomach or if you're having trouble digesting something, it's like, well, logically speaking, like where am I not processing or digesting or fully processing my feelings, you know? Um, or if you feel pain in your back, that's connected to the root chakra. So where do I not feel safe? Where can I make a different choice? And so I just love how the body communicates with us in a way that we can easily interpret and understand and heal.
Yeah, I love that. And it reminds me of a book that I have. It's from Louise Hay. It's about, I think it's called Heal Your Body. And there's this chart, or just charts on every page, right? And it said, like, when you're having, I don't know, reflux or something, this is what the cause can be. And this is maybe your spiritual upset. And I think it's really helpful from time to time to just check in and see what it says there. If we are not getting an immediate, I don't know, intuition or picture or anything about it yet, and just keep on shipping it away. As it was said in the sermon as well, it's usually nothing that happens overnight, right? It's a process, and it has layers, and when it's stored in the body, it needs time and more safety and comfort and trust within yourself, trust in the process to be able to access everything. And we should have really a lot of compassion here, because we were never really taught how to feel our feelings. And usually we are also taught, like, when you have an issue in your body, you should go to the doctor. And it's not said that, of course, get the medical support and go to see your doctor or whoever you need to see to support yourself and also healing your body, but you should not forget the spiritual aspect here. And this is something, it's sad that we forgot about it in our society, but we are healing it in a collective here. And so more and more people definitely wake up to it. Also, when you have, like I did, gained a lot of weight, or even lost a lot of weight, or whatever it might be, when you have stored fat somewhere where it might not belong, this can also just be some energy that needs to move, right? And to get your system going, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Yeah, I just love that. And also, ancient people, they have books and everything about how everything is connected within the body, like also in your foot or in your hand, everything in your hand or in your foot, on the down pad on your foot, so to say, that touches the ground. When you massage there at a certain point, it has an effect on your gut or on, I don't know, your shoulders and everything, basically. And this can also help a lot. I love foot massages. It's so amazing, and it really relaxes your whole body, and you can totally do it at home in an easy way. Like these wood rollers, you can just put them on the floor, be on the laptop and roll your foot over it. And it's so amazing. And just helps a lot.
That's really cool. I was also reading the other day about like different systems in which different parts of the body are related to different emotions. Like I think in traditional Chinese medicine, there are some feelings connected to some body parts, and that has been very interesting. And also, the book you mentioned by Louise Hay is very interesting, because when you feel a pain somewhere, you can just check and say, okay, do I feel upset about that? And that can really direct your healing, because you're feeling things, you're processing things. And it's really good to do that instead of just, ignore it, take a painkiller, whatever, it will pass. This is the usual approach. This matters. This one is much deeper and much more, it creates a foundation in which you don't have to experience that pain every now and then. You don't have to settle for living with it. And of course, you can have medical support with that, obviously, especially if it's a chronic issue. And if it's something that needs this type of support. But I enjoy like this process of not having to settle for feeling bad, or, it is what it is. The physical body is all painful. This kind of thoughts that have been quite deeply rooted in the collective. And for example, about how after you're a certain age, your body is supposed to deteriorate and work less effectively, and everything is painful and falling apart. Like, we don't have to take in those beliefs anymore. Like God didn't create us to age and experience pain and experience this slow death.
Right. Yeah. Like we're eternal beings, and we can choose to have that reflected in our bodies and in our beauty, in our appearance, which I love that as well. And yeah, like when you were talking about like the different points in the body and how the foot, a point in the foot is connected to like the stomach and all of that. I was reading a little bit about that. I think it's like really popular in Eastern philosophy, like acupressure and acupuncture. Yeah, like all of that stuff is so helpful in healing the body and healing the mind, and how it really connects the mind and the emotions and the body together. So yeah, I love that. And like for me personally, you mentioned like the weight and how that can also be a reflection of like things you're working through emotionally and healing. Like for me, I've been working a lot on releasing weight, and I'm realizing that it is showing me where I'm carrying extra weight emotionally, right? Like where I'm carrying extra weight with certain traumas, and how, until I'm able to really release my emotional weight, right? The physical weight can't really reflect that, right? Like I'll drop 10 pounds and then gain 15 kind of thing, because I haven't healed the core. But I do appreciate my body and showing me where I'm holding on to excess like burdens that I don't have to hold on to. And like we mentioned in the beginning, and like Abir was saying in the sermon, it's a process and it doesn't happen overnight. And I can be patient with myself. I can be present with myself and just kind of allow things to flow in God's time, but also making the choice to release my emotional weight that I don't have to carry, and then allow that to, be reflected in the physical. Yeah.
I've been working through similar things as well. Like I can relate to that carrying extra weight, because I realized I had this pattern of feeling responsible for other people and their actions and all that, little bit of savior complex. So of course that somehow needs to manifest physically, because, when there's something within your consciousness, it's going to manifest in other areas of your life. But it's also been interesting how God has been using all this to really show me his love. Because, for example, there is this belief in consciousness that as a woman, to be loved, you need to be beautiful. You need to be a certain way. And if you're not beautiful, if you're not like super thin and like super conventionally attractive, someone might not be attracted to you, might not have your ultimate lover. So it's been interesting to see how, even though I am not like at my optimal, my twin flame is still loves me very much, still very much attracted to me. So that has been super healing for me.
Yeah, thank you both for sharing this. I think it's also for all people on earth very, very healing to see, and it has a deep purpose to move through it. Also, like Shaleia moved through it while in Tifus and LPC, right? Seeing her like this is so, I never thought like, she's not beautiful, or she should lose weight or something. I just thought, my God, she's so beautiful. And I really, really admire her for feeling so beautiful and so divine in her body. And that really inspired me and helped me so much to move through my own upsets with my body, because as you both were sharing, I relate a lot to it. And I'm really, really grateful that I have to move through it, and I'm moving through it right now, because I'm done with diets. I'm done with, I don't know, suffering, or I don't know, not giving myself the food that I need. You know, you can also actually gain weight when you eat less calories every day after some time.
Yep.
And I'm learning also, yeah, I'm learning through the health and wellness program to drink enough per day. I never did. I'm right now drinking 3 liters per day. I'm feeling like a different person. Or eating really at the same time 3 meals a day. I was so resistant my whole life, but I'm feeling the effects. I'm feeling like, wow, I'm building trust with my body, and I'm not feeling tempted to snack or, I don't know, overeat or something, you know. It's just, but yeah, one step at a time. And it really feels amazing to have that trust with myself, this relationship with myself. And as we already shared, I think it's really healing for everyone to see that you don't have to have, I don't know, look like the model, like super slim or whatever. If you desire to look like that, that's totally fine, but you don't have to. And it should not be the ideal. You should be the ideal. And whatever is your divine body is divine. And we are already divine in our bodies. And yeah, I'm choosing to claim my divine body, my perfect body. And if God wants me to stay like this my whole life, you know what, that's fine. Then he wants me to stay like this, and then it's perfect as it already is. And I'm fine with that. And so this is really beautiful and just really relaxing that I never have to force myself again to do something else. And maybe just another topic, I realized that sometimes I have a feeling within myself that I can't quite pinpoint down. There is no upset, there is no trigger, just comes randomly up, right? I was experiencing, and I am experiencing this since, I don't know, 2 years or so. And it's something between my heart chakra and my sacral chakra. So it's in the solar plexus region, I would say. And in the beginning, I thought it's like a panic attack, but it wasn't. And since I'm staying present here and asking myself, what is it and what can I do to move through it? I just realized, yeah, I don't have to analyze it. I don't have to see also when you feel pain in your body somewhere and you're not sure, what is this feeling? You don't have to necessarily name it. It can be helpful, but you don't have to. What you just have to do is really just stay present there. And what I come to realize that most of the time, I'm not even getting an image as usually I would get an image. Sometimes it's just this feeling of feeling like, let's say, pushed into a corner or like really dense. And in this density, I just have to bring presence there and trust that God is with me there. I keep asking him to be there. When you ask him, he gives it to you, right? And so I experience this relief in this space. And so it also gives me relief to know you don't have to name everything. You don't have to analyze. You just be present, and it solves itself. So maybe for all you guys out there who don't know, if there is something in your body and you don't know what's this feeling, oh, it's not fear, it's nothing. So yeah, fuck it. I'm not going to stay present here. Stay present, really persist, and it's worth it.
Thank you for sharing. Presence is so powerful because we are divine beings. So when you're present with something, you're bringing this divine energy into it, and so powerful. And I resonate with not naming everything. This has been a big lesson for me lately about not overthinking, not overanalyzing, not trying to problem solve every single thing. Because at the end of the day, God's got it. God will resolve everything. And all I need to do is be present and love myself, love God, and listen to God. And if God is asking me to just stay present, do nothing, then that is enough.
Absolutely. Yeah, it reminds me of when Jeff says, like, if you have a thorn in your foot, pull it out. You don't have to analyze the thorn. You don't have to say, oh, this is 3 inches long and 2 inches wide. You just pull it out, throw it out, and move on, right? And yeah, like being present is so important, right? Because when you're present, that's when you're with God, right? When you're obsessing over the past or worrying about the future, you're abandoning yourself in that space. You're abandoning God. But when you come back to the present moment, that's where God is. And that's where your power is, right? The pinnacle of your power is in the present moment. And yeah, like a lot of your thoughts and experiences in the past may have brought you to where you are right now. But it's where you are right now that's gonna take you to where you want to go. Like in this present moment, you always have a new opportunity to make a new choice. Only in the present, never in the past, never in the future. Only in the present can you really claim your power. So I love how we're really like emphasizing that. Yeah, just being present and loving ourselves in the moment and not overthinking it.
I think it connects very beautifully with today's topic, presence, because when you are present, you're also in your body. You are in the here and now. Whereas when you're focusing on the present, on the future, or in the past, you're not really in your body. It's like you're very much in your mind. So it connects very nicely with being here, being in your body, not being scared of the 3D reality, as many people are, because a lot of spiritual people, they don't really connect with the 3D reality. It wasn't the way back in the day. It was all about living the planet. So why would you want to be present and grounded in the 3D? But now we can stay here and have a good time and be with God, and it's really good.
Yeah, and to that point, it kind of makes me think like pain is probably a way of the body telling us that there's a space in our consciousness where we're not being present, right? Like it's kind of communicating, hey, there's an opportunity to be present, to be with God, to choose love. So yeah, it's great that the body can communicate that to us in different ways.
It's also what you both just shared now reminds me a lot of the meditation CD from Jeff and Shaleia, especially the first track where it's about healing your chakras. And I think Shaleia says this amazing quote there that always sticks with me is, I'm not sure if she says now focus on yourself or, but at least like, I'm just paraphrasing right now, right? She basically says, when you focus on yourself, you are here. No, wait, how did she said it? I just had it on my tongue. Being present with yourself is what heals you completely. So this is it, right? And whenever you are aware of a pain and there is something, you planted the seed, you are aware of it, you acknowledged it, and you choose to move through it, and God shows you the way, all the way through. And it gets better and better and doesn't have to be this over dramatic thing, right? Like, oh no, it won't get better right away, but you will feel more peaceful in it. It will get easier. And at some point, I was working last year in a warehouse and I was really overworking and not resting at all. And then I gained a lot of weight and my feet got like overworked basically. And I had an inflammation in my feet and I didn't even know that this was possible to have. And it was so painful to walk. And so this showed me, okay, there must be something with grounding issue, right? And at the same time, like, yeah, of course, in general, something to heal. And I remembered I asked God to show me the way, and it took me really a long time to move through this one. But I also remember when I now look back at it, I almost forgot about it, even though it was extremely painful. And at some point, it just from one day to another, it just stopped. And I even didn't really fully realize it. Sometimes I realized like, oh, I walked I don't know, 10,000 steps today, and I don't have pain. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, great. So I'm really grateful for it. And it just happened naturally and in a steady flow. And yeah, just love that in the end, it is not that hard. When you look back at it, like, oh yeah, it was quite easy.
Yeah, so how are we all feeling with the discussion? Do we feel complete? Is there something else to share? Feeling complete then?
Yes.
Awesome. Perfect. So thank you so much for joining me for today's After Thirsty time. Despite the little obstacles in the beginning, we still made it. And yeah, thank you everybody for joining us in the Facebook group, and we will see you next Sunday. Have a great day.